All right, and this one I'm going to just work on this page since I can. And this one is, the problem with this one is that there's a negative in front of the variable. That often gets lost. A lot of times kids will not remember to carry that down. So let's just start by writing it. 73 equals 206 minus u. Okay? Again, let's go through the questions. Okay? What do you want to get rid of? I want to get rid of the 206. What is it doing to the variable? Well, don't be tempted by this minus sign. That minus sign is attached to the u. This 206 is actually a positive 206. So it is adding to the u. So how do you get rid of it? You subtract. So we're going to subtract 206 from both sides. Whoa, let's try that again. 206. Boom. This is going to cancel. And now you have a larger number on the bottom than the top. So do not try to do that by hand, like in that way. You need to go over here and do 206 minus 73. 6 minus 3 is 3. 20 minus, that's 133. So 133 equals negative u. All right, well, that's great, but we don't want negative u. We want positive u. So there's a couple ways to look at it. You could just say to yourself, logically, I don't want negative u, I want u. So therefore, u is equal to the opposite of that, which is negative 133. If you're going to be all mathy about it, which is fine too, you could say like, oh, to get rid of the negative, I am going to multiply both sides by negative 1. And that works as well. You can also divide both sides by negative 1. Honestly, there's a few ways to get rid of it. And I don't know, let me make that a little bit bigger of a negative. Otherwise, it just looks like it's some weird dot on the paper. And that is the answer. Okay, moving on. Okay, I actually wrote it there. Whoops, moving on. Okay, so again, I want you to take a look at this one. The 3 is, again, lower than this. If I put the 3 over 1, those two lines should be at the same level, but they're actually not. So we are going to go to here. I'm going to show you how I rewrote it. See? I wrote it so that these two lines are at the same level. Okay, so how are you going to solve it? Okay, let's start by asking the same 3 questions. What do I want to get rid of? Well, you could say the plus 29, but that is not going to be the first thing you're going to get rid of because the division is here. And when you undo, you know the PEMDAS goes multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. Okay, remember, we need to undo it in the same sort of way. So we got to get rid of this 9 first. Okay, we've got to get this top by itself in order to actually subtract the 29. So how do we get rid of the 9? Whenever you're trying to get rid of a fraction, you can say to yourself, multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to multiply by 9 over 1, if you will. Okay, and by 9 over 1. Do you need to put the 1? No. I'm showing you like exactly how it would be done, but no. So 9 times 3 is 27 equals, and then you're going to get x plus 29. You have now gotten rid of that denominator. So now what do I want to get rid of? The 29. What is it doing to the variable? Adding. What do we need to do? Subtract. Okay, and that becomes a negative 2. Again, be careful when the number on the top is bigger. You can always key that into your calculator or just use your brain. All right, brains are great for this. All right, next one. This is a more complex problem. Okay, this is where you have, you're having multiple, like you have variables on both sides of the equation, and you also have constants. A number without a variable is called a constant. So we're going to go through the order of operations on this. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is combine like terms. That's just simplifying. Simplify each side first. So that becomes 9v plus 6 equals 7v plus 30. Then we want to get the variables on one side and the numbers on the other. You can't ask yourself, what do I want to get rid of yet? Because your variables are on both sides of the equation. That is a problem. We need to unite them. Okay. I tend to do it this way. I like to get the v on the left-hand side, but there's also a trick. If this is 7 is less than 9, it's much easier to subtract the 7v than the 9v because you get rid of the negative. So that would cancel, and 9v minus 7v is 2v plus 6 equals 30. Then you're going to ask yourself, what do I need to get rid of? Well, you could say both the 2 and the 6. But first, we must get rid of, it's almost like reverse order of operations. We have to get rid of what's being added and subtracted first. Because remember, to do something, we have to follow PEMDAS. To undo it, we have to go the reverse direction. So we are going to get rid of the 6 first. What is that 6 doing to the variable? It is adding. So what do we need to do? Subtract. So you get 2v equals 24. And so v is equal to, we want to get rid of the 2 now. What is the 2 doing to the variable? Multiplying. You would divide both sides by 2. I am not going to show you the division because I think everybody could divide 24 by 2 in their head. And then there you go. Do I need to see that? No, I don't. I do not need to see that division that you know. But feel free. Like, if you want to do that, you can do that. Okay, I'm just running out of room too. All right, last one. This is the most complex problem you will get. Okay, it has parentheses and variables on both sides, multiple variables. So we got to make sure that you know the order of operations. Let's see if I can try to fit this in one. Okay, first thing you need to do is distribute. Okay, whenever you're multiplying, we need to get the multiplication stuff out. We've got to get parentheses out. These on the PEMDAS says do what's in the parentheses first. Well, these aren't like terms. You can't add them. But you want to eliminate the parentheses. That's the problem. The x is stuck inside. We got to get the x outside, and the only way we can do that is distribute. Okay, so now we're going to go 5 times x, which is 5x, 5 times 9, which is 45, minus 1 equals -5 times -4. When you're doing this, I highly recommend you use your voice and you actually say it out loud. -5 times -4 is positive 20x. And then -5 times positive 6 is -30 minus 9x. Do not try to distribute this 5 to here. It doesn't make any sense. If you're ever struggling with a problem, read it out loud. It says -5 times the quantity, -4x plus 6, minus, you said the word minus. You didn't say 5 times 9, you said minus. So don't try to extend that division, that distribution further. Okay, now let's see if we can simplify the sides. Well, -45 and -1 are both constants, so we can combine them. They're both negatives. So 5x minus 46 equals, and then we have 20x and -9x. Okay, 20 minus 9 is 11x minus 30. Okay, so we simplified both sides. Here we had to combine, on this side we had to combine like terms, and on this side we had to combine constants. Now we need to get the x on the same side. Okay, here's a little bit of a strategy. If I might subtract 11 from both sides, if I do this, 11x from both sides, this is going to be a -6. I hate having negatives in front of the variable just in general. So my trick is to always subtract the smaller number from the larger number. Okay, so you're going to get 6x minus 30. Whenever you show your work, by the way, down, you need to draw that long bar. That means equals. Okay, we're going to bring this down, -46 equals. All right, so now we have our variable, and it's finally all by itself. There's only one x here. So we got to get rid of stuff. So the question is, what do we want to get rid of? We want to get rid of the 6 and the -30, but the -30 is the first thing we got to get rid of because it's adding and subtracting. So we're going to add. Okay, we get 6x equals -16. Okay, and then we need to ask ourselves, what do we want to get rid of? The 6. What is it doing to the variable? Multiplying. How do we undo multiplication? Division. All right. And then at the end, we still need to simplify this. What goes into both 16 and 6? Okay, the greatest common factor is actually just 2. So we can, oops, let me go white. Cancel out the 6, and then this becomes, and I'm going to go ahead and write it to the side. Sorry, this is like not enough room here. X is equal to negative 2 goes into 16, 8, 2 goes into 6, 3. And that is your answer. Okay. That's the wrong program. Let's try this.